In this video, we're going to talk about some things that you need to ditch and some things that you need to start doing in order to manage your time better. Listen, time equals money, and we need to stop wasting both of those things. So let's go ahead and hop right in. The first thing that you need to ditch is the mental to-do list, okay? Your brain can only hold but so much information, so you have got to stop carrying around everything that you can do in your mind and then wondering why you're ending your days so frustrated, stressed out, and overwhelmed. You cannot carry all of those things around. You don't know how many times I ask people what they have going on and they're already stressed and overwhelmed and they're like, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do this. Oh, and I forgot to do that. Do you know why you're doing that? It's because you are trying to carry more than you have the capacity to. So instead of carrying a mental to-do list, just start writing things down. I know it's not rocket science, but you would be so surprised how many people do not take this fundamental step. Taking the time to take things out of your brain and put them on paper gives you a chance to put things in order. It literally will bring you so much peace just to get it out of your mind, and then you can start actually looking at your schedule and seeing, what do I have the capacity to get done? This is also going to give you an opportunity to be proactive instead of reactive. We spend so much of our days responding to things instead of preparing in advance for them. Just imagine for a moment, you wake up and you already have a clear itinerary of what's going on for the day. Even if an obstacle comes, you're able to look at your list, rearrange, and make adjustments instead of responding from a place of stress and panic. Doesn't that already sound so much better? So ditch the mental to-do list and start writing things down. Now, before I can even share the next thing that's going to make a huge difference in the way that you manage your time, I have to pause right here and ask you a question because I genuinely care about you and I want you to stop procrastinating in this area. Be honest. When is the last time that you've advocated for your own health? When is the last time you've been to the dentist? Or booked an appointment with a dermatologist instead of rushing to the latest skincare hack from TikTok? Raise my hand, I'm guilty. I know what you're thinking. Girl, I don't even feel like sitting on the phone waiting to see if the doctor even has availability. Trust me, I get it. That is why I am so excited to talk to you about my sponsor today, ZocDoc.com/Kyla. ZocDoc is a totally free site where you can search for in-network doctors, choose one that fits your needs, and click to instantly book an appointment. You don't even have to talk to anyone on the phone. You can just click to book. Like me, I know I have been putting off my annual checkup for a long time because I just need to find a new doctor, and I really need to get my blood drawn to see what I'm deficient in. I told you guys that I was struggling with some fatigue, so this is an area that I'll finally be able to check off my to-do list. You can filter for doctors who take your insurance, who are located nearby, who are a good fit for any medical needs you may have, and who are highly rated by verified patients. Plus, ZocDoc appointments happen fast, typically between 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments. So stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/Kyla, also linked in the description box, to book a top-rated doctor today. Alrighty, now let's hop into the second thing that's going to make a huge difference in the way that you manage your time, and that is weekly planning versus daily planning. So I already got on y'all about throwing out that mental to-do list, okay? We are no longer carrying things around in our head, and we're going to start writing them down. Now, most of you already may be familiar with writing down your to-do list either the night before or as soon as you wake up, but I want you to go a step further and start doing weekly planning. Weekly planning has made such a huge difference in the way that I'm able to approach my days. I don't feel super stressed out. I already feel like I'm at an advantage because I've taken the time to say, okay, here are all the things that I have going on this week. Here are the things that I would like to get done. Now let me see, according to my availability, what do I actually have the capacity to get done? I typically plan on the Thursday before the following week, but for you, you can plan whatever day makes the most sense for you, whether that's at the end of the week or maybe like on a Sunday night before you start the week. It doesn't really matter. I just find that it's easier for me to plan at the end of the week versus at the start of a new week because on Sundays, y'all, I just like to rest. I already want to know going into Sunday that I have everything listed out and I can just start my week fresh instead of ending my night worrying about all the different things that I have to do this week. So I highly recommend weekly planning instead of daily planning. As a part of your weekly planning, don't only think about just the tasks that you have to do. Consider those events that are coming up. Also take this time to plan out your meal preps and your groceries. This is something that a lot of people neglect, but what you feed your body determines how much energy you will have going into the remaining week. When you're not being intentional about taking the time to plan, then throughout the week when you're stressed out, you're just going to eat whatever. But by planning out my meal preps and my groceries as a part of this weekly planning process, I don't have to worry about what I'm going to eat. And what I'm doing is not only am I setting my body up for success, but I'm also reducing that decision fatigue that happens throughout the week. And decision fatigue is literally when your brain is so tired of making decisions that it doesn't even have the capacity to make small decisions. So you can reduce all of that and relieve that stress simply by doing weekly planning. I do a productive vlog every week that goes out on Saturdays at 11 a.m. where you can see my weekly planning process in full. Now, the last thing that I'm going to talk about that's going to make a huge difference in the way that you manage your time is scheduling in your rest days in advance. I know in this culture, rest seems like a curse word. Honestly, we hate to rest. We feel like we don't deserve to rest. We feel like we haven't done enough to rest. But rest is God's gift to us. Okay? Rest is a gift. It is not a burden. And so I found that if you don't schedule in days to rest, you won't rest. And we wonder why we live in this culture where hustle is so magnified, where we're going and going and going. Most of us are burnt out and we don't even realize it because this has been our pace for so long. So by scheduling in your rest day, you are adding in a level of accountability for yourself, and you're saying, this is the day that I'm going to allow my mind to catch up to my body. This is the day that I'm going to allow God to pour into me to give me the capacity to do what I need to do for this week. You cannot pour from an empty cup. That's not just a cute quote that you see on social media. It's a reality. When you don't give your body time to rest, you will get sick. You start getting stressed out, very anxious and overwhelmed. You start snapping at people. So it's a really good idea to start resting. There have been some times where I felt like I didn't even have the capacity to rest because there was always so much going on. So I just thought if I just keep going, I'll get all the things done and I'll rest later. Well, that did not happen. Actually, there's statistics that show that when you take time to rest, your brain actually resets itself and you become more creative. You're able to think a lot more clearly and get things done a lot quicker. So schedule in your time to rest. For me, Sundays are that day. I have gone even so far as to turn off my phone because I just need a digital detox. I'm not saying that you have to start there, but just add that day on your calendar. Even if you can't do a full day, dedicate at least maybe 30 minutes to an hour a couple times a week where you just unplug and you just rest. And by resting, I don't just mean cleaning, right? Because sometimes we think that resting is cleaning. It's not. I mean sitting back and doing something that you enjoy. Take a nap. Go for a walk. Go take yourself out to eat. Sit with God and just be still. These are the things that your body needs, and it will thank you for it in the long run. So let's recap. 3 things that you need to do to manage your time better. Number 1, ditch the mental to-do list and start writing everything down. Number 2, focus on weekly planning and not just daily planning. And number 3, schedule in your rest days in advance. I hope this has been a helpful video. Please continue to stay along as we are in this productivity series where I'll be talking more about how to plan for success, how to establish routines that you can be consistent with, and all the other productivity and time management things. If you found this video helpful, definitely share it with a friend, and I will talk to you in the next video.